Welcome to the Film Garage 208 podcast. My name is Sarah and this is Daniel.
Hello.
Hello. Today we have with us Nicole Thompson and Brynn Parker of Modern Mind Body Massage. I'm just butchering it this morning.
Massage.
That's okay. It is the biggest tongue twister. I had to write it down and I still butchered it. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Modern Mind Body Massage.
Yeah.
I got it right there.
There you go.
Okay, so tell us about what you do. You guys are here in Ammon.
Yeah. What we do, so we are massage business owners. So we are actually sisters as well. So that kind of makes it really fun.
Convenient.
Yeah. And so we just own a massage business in Ammon. So
how long have you had it?
Yeah.
It's been about 2.5 years now since we opened. Not the first time. The only time we opened.
We opened in 2021.
2021.
Yeah, so a couple years.
So what made you get into the massage business? So you guys do massages, but you said you run the whole thing too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of fun how that all started and how that all worked. I actually went to school first. I'm the older sister. And I went to school back in 2017. And because I just always wanted to learn the skill. It wasn't necessarily like, this is going to be my career. It was more like, this is a cool skill and I love back rubs. I want to learn.
Yeah.
So went to school in 2017, graduated actually in 2017 by the end of the year, and then went and started working for someone. And so it wasn't until a couple years later that Brynn decided to do that. And I'll let her tell that part of the story.
Yeah. I had just gotten married at the time and I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't in college or I didn't have a job. And I was like, I should do something with my life. I got nothing. And it was actually Nicole's birthday dinner that year. And I was like, so tell me about massage. And she's like, are you serious? Like, this is all the information about it. And I was like, well,
just word vomiting.
She had tried to tell me about it earlier, and I was like, nah, I'm not interested. But this time she's like, if you actually are serious, I think this school starts tomorrow in Rexburg.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe not tomorrow, but you can help me fill out the paperwork.
Yeah, literally. It was like a Sunday evening, and like it was the beginning of the year. So my birthday's like beginning of the year. Yeah. So I was like, their January program starts tomorrow. Like, this is your chance if you want to do it, you know?
So turned in the paperwork and they're like, you're accepted if you want to hop right in. And I was like,
cool.
Sure. So I had less than 24 hours to think about it.
Oh my gosh.
And then when I was getting closer to graduate, we had slightly chatted. Nicole's like, maybe we could do something together. Who knows? And I'm like, maybe I want to start somewhere first, figure out what I'm like as a therapist before I'm calling myself somebody's boss. And then couple months into that, I worked for about 6 months after graduation, and then we had decided to do our own thing. So that's just how that worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice though, being able to leave like working for someone else and then going to have like
that's
your
not
own
very
thing.
long. 6 months.
That's so fast.
That's really fast.
That's really fast.
Yeah.
You just jumped right into it.
Yeah. I mean, in 6 months, in my opinion, and I'm sure Brynn agrees, but like for massage therapy, I think that's about how long it takes for you to, well, at least for me and for her, like to get your flow. Like you kind of figure out your style and what kind of clients you like by that point. And you're also doing good enough that you're like, okay, I know how to do deep tissue. I know how to do this. I know, you learn them in school, but obviously it's different from school, like to actually working.
For sure. Like going and finding those clients and having the clientele. Yeah. So that is so fast for you to. So were you immediately having so many clients? You guys were so busy that you were like, this is a great step.
Yeah, like when we first started. Yeah. We decided to go big, like right at the beginning, and which was really fun as well. Yeah. So we opened like June 1st, which actually we found out, like looking back, that is like the slowest time to ever start any business. Like it's the summer slowdown.
Summer, everyone's doing their thing.
Yes, like it's the summer slowdown, right? And so like we started June 1st, but we went big and we did like a huge promotion. And so that's what helped get a lot of clients.
Oh, really?
And we actually had, our little business plan that we had started. We're like, okay, like Nicole, I'm going to start first. Like Nicole's going to start first for a couple months. Then we'll add Brynn. Then we'll add another therapist every few months. That was kind of our thought.
Okay.
But we're super glad we didn't do that. Brynn and I started at the same time.
Yeah.
And we got so many clients that within like 2 or 3 weeks, we were like, we need a third person. Like,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so it was awesome. Like it just happened so fast.
That's so cool. So what was this promotion that got everybody so excited?
Yeah. So
lots of people thought it was a scam.
Okay.
It was that good.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did 50% off for the first 2 massages that you came in for.
Okay.
And so a lot of people were like, I don't know if this is real. And so when people came in the door, they were like, it actually exists. Like, it's not just me throwing my money out somewhere. But yeah, that we did that for the first 6 months to a year. And then after we expired that, if people actually still have the card that has the 50% off promo, they can still get one massage with that if they bring in the old card that we had. But
so they could use it twice.
Yeah, so originally they could use it twice. Now that it's been a few years, if they have the physical card, we will still honor it. We'll still honor it.
I would be coming in with like an undercover mask each day.
Right.
A different person, yeah.
You're like writing, I mean, we have you fill out paperwork, so I don't know how easily you could write a million emails. And,
like, this guy looks familiar.
Right. You're like seeing different therapists every time. No one knows.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if they come in with the physical card, we'll honor at least the first time still, but not the 2, because, you know, that it's such a big discount. Like it's a, you know, that's what helped us get started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had a business plan already planned out, like you said.
Yeah.
So do you have like a business background, or do you have what's your background?
Yeah, not really. Like I feel like we've always kind of started little businesses here and there. Like we're horse people, and so like we did horse lessons for a couple years and have, you know,
giving horse lessons.
Yeah, giving horse lessons.
Okay.
And we actually used to train horses as well. Sorry, random, but about us. Horses.
Good to know.
So like we always did like little things like that. But really, our dad is who helped push us to do it. Like he doesn't do business as a career, but he does it as a hobby. Like it's just so fun for him. He loves the risks. He loves the numbers. He loves everything. So he was the one that really helped push us. Like we were talking about doing our thing, but it wasn't until he was like, I hear you're talking about doing your thing. Like, how about we run some numbers and look at it and see if you guys like actually want to do it? Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So he was able to like really like step by step, literally look at the numbers.
Yeah. And like help us. And that's when we were like, oh, like projecting out like, oh, if Nicole starts, then Brynn can start. This is how fast we can grow. You know, of course, just estimating everything. But he helped us along the way for sure.
That's really exciting.
But that was nice to have.
Yeah. Definitely.
So does he play a part in the company now, or he just kind of like is a voice in your ear for opinions?
He's definitely a part of it as well. So he helped us get going. So like investing, but as well as he's kind of, I guess, like the background guy. Like he just does help give us advice if we need it, or advises us, or I don't know if you have any thoughts. I feel like I'm talking a lot.
You're doing great. Well, I would say that, he does help us a lot. If we have situations where it's like, I have no idea how to handle this, and he's like, well, here's some things that we could do. And then also if we're like starting to get in a rut of like next steps, it's like if we run out of ideas, then he has some. And same with our mom. She's kind of tied in blank.
How do you stand out against other, I guess, massage therapists and you know, what do you do differently? And
well, me and Nicole, we were actually talking about this a little bit earlier. Massage itself is not new. So, but what we do differently, we have really focused on our clinic, our atmosphere, and the feeling that people have while they're there, and supporting and building mindset within our employees of, not to sound like a little guru Zen person, but positivity.
Which also helps, of course, create that atmosphere that we want. So I agree with Brynn. Like that's the biggest thing that we wanted to stand apart, I guess, because like Brynn said and what we discussed, massage isn't new. It's, you know, like, and every massage therapist is amazing in their different skills and abilities. Yeah. And so you can find good massage therapists any place. But yeah, what makes us stand apart is that atmosphere that we've tried. Like, and from the beginning, that was our goal. And so it's been fun because since the beginning, we were like, oh my gosh, like we want to create this atmosphere. We need this good mindset, like Brynn said, this positivity. Yeah. And we've had clients mention the atmosphere, which is has been our goal all along. It's like, wow, it feels physically good here.
So you're meaning like the space and how it's organized / you guys yourself just being positive.
Yeah. What do you do to make, like, what do you do to give them that feeling?
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. Like, is it like,
you can feel it. Yeah. What is it?
Do you have like a line you say when they come in, or is it like,
no,
is it just your overall just energy? You just
I think it's just the energy in there. Yeah. Like I think it's more the energy. And just having that upbeat, positive interactions, being genuine. I think that's a huge one as well, is being really genuine with our clients.
Yeah. Honest.
Yeah. Honest, helping them. Like, we're obviously trying to help people and help them heal and feel better with their tension and their muscle aches and everything. So I feel like that's like a huge role in that. Yeah. But yeah. Any other thoughts?
Kind of backtracking a little bit is what makes our massage or our place unique is every single therapist has their own style, has the own places that they like to work and their techniques and the pace that they take. And so every single person that you see is already unique. So if you put it that way with how our business is unique, is we have unique therapists and what they do, which is different from other places because no two therapists are the same.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Just that. Yeah. And then
you have a lot of therapists right now. You said
we do.
So how many do you have? Where did you find them?
Us, oh gosh. Well, including us, I think there's 8 of us now? 9? We've teetered up and down a little bit, but
that's a lot.
We've got.
That's a lot.
I think we've got 8 of us.
I think so.
Okay, and then one of them is leaving soon because she's moving. But so that's why it teeters up and down. But yeah, we're at 8 of us total. Yeah, and you asked where we found them.
Yeah, where do you find all of your amazing massage therapists?
Yeah, some of them it's kind of fun. Like so, a lot of them come for like straight out of school. So like part of it is the Rexburg College of Massage Therapy. That's actually where both of us went, and they have an amazing program up there. Mm-hmm. So.
You just take turns massaging each other to like get certified. Is that how that works?
Depends on the
that'd be an awesome class to be a part of.
Actually, yeah, it's really nice. Like in massage school, you literally like when you're learning Swedish massage or deep tissue or whatever it is. Yeah, they give you a partner you up, and then you massage one of them, and then you swap,
that sounds
and then
great.
You get a massage. Yeah. So it actually is really nice.
That sounds really nice.
How much was the class? Can you just take that? Just
I mean, you could probably ask.
Right?
I mean, I
I'm
guess
just
you
here for
pay.
The massages.
Right. You can pay for one class, but then
it really depends on the school.
Yeah. Right.
I think it depends on the school. When I went to Rexburg, it was the same. You had a partner and then you swapped. But when they first started, they actually brought people in, and you would just pretty much get a volunteer. And you would massage your volunteer for your class. So I think it really depends.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mine was not like that. We only ever massaged each other.
Like, when
Brynn's was unique though.
Get to know your classmates
she was during COVID.
Really well.
Her class was during COVID.
I graduated in 2020.
Yeah. Okay, so what was a COVID massage therapist class like?
Massaging from 6 feet away.
It was interesting to say the least. We started out and we were in there for probably half of the time, and then they're like, oh, you can't meet at all, to, oh, you can have a minimal amount of people meeting. And luckily our class was small enough that most of us could attend. Mm-hmm. So they kept most of the non-hands-on doing it online, like business and ethics and that version. Mm-hmm. They try to keep online. And then they did a few videos of this is how you would massage. It's not the same.
No.
You don't get that depth perception of how deep they're going into. Glutes was difficult for me after graduation because they taught deep tissue on glutes over video. And I'm like, it's like, oh, you could do this, but then you could do this. And I'm like, I can't tell the difference.
Into someone's butt cheek. I don't know. I'm not sure.
But once we got back in, we just did 2 massive days of like, let's just get everything that we missed hands-on. Cool. And then we continued from there. And then we also did extra hands-on time until graduation to make up the time that we had missed. Yeah. So that was
So do you have to hit hours? And
yes.
Okay. So it's like, you said you took business classes too.
Yeah, it's cool. Included in the massage program. It's just I'd say like a brief business class this is stuff that you need to be aware of if you were to do your own practice. It wasn't super in depth. Like,
not a good thorough getting you going. And
it was also out of there. COVID, so some teachers had moved and some had taken over, and they weren't totally prepared. But come a long way from there.
Yes,
don't be scared to come see me.
Yeah. Okay, so did you have any challenges that you guys faced in this journey?
Yeah, this one was kind of fun. We were kind of brainstorming different things, and the thing we came up with the most is just massage in general. Like, well, there's a few things. One, there's slow seasons, which I'm sure there are for all businesses, but like there's just trends in like when we're really, really busy, like right now actually. So like October through the end of the year is so busy because of the holidays. People want to relax. They want to de-stress. They want to buy gift cards, that, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So it gets really busy. Yep. January slows down. And then February picks up because of couples massages. And then it picks up until like spring break. And then summer slows down. And, you know, so we've got like the slow and the highs, as well as the weather. So it's funny, the weather really affects people coming out. So like the first snow, no one comes in the first few days because people don't want to drive.
Cancel those appointments.
Yep. And when it's first really warm outside, no one comes in because they're all enjoying outside. So that's one thing. And then the other thing we talked about was selling massage, like the idea of massage. And Brynn can kind of hit on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to give an example is we need to, not that we're convincing people why massage is so great, but it's more convincing people why they need it. Most people, they'll be like, oh, massage, it's just luxury, fluffy stuff.
Yeah, luxury
It's
service.
so much more than that. Like, take a product like chocolate is a very good example. You don't need to convince people that chocolate is great. Our dad just started his chocolate business, and
I think I saw that post.
Day one, he had at least 20 orders. Like, That's awesome. Didn't take very long because people already know the chocolate tastes great. And I love chocolate too. But with massage, it's more of like convincing people to take that step into our door. That is more of the challenge because they're like, oh, it'll go away on its own, or, oh, that's not really for me, or, oh, it's too expensive. That's something that people say. But in the long run, spending the time to come in and start getting treated is not the right word.
I mean, kind of.
It kind of is, though.
Yeah. Getting treatments, having goals.
I'm sure not for every like situation, but I'm sure the massages can help alleviate like problems that could build into bigger problems, which could be a medical bill.
Yes.
Or things a lot more than what an hour massage might be once a week.
And actually that was another thing. So you saying maybe edit out the money part. Funny enough, like that is a big part of it. Like it's an investment in the moment and then like when you're getting your treatments, but really you're saving a lot more money preventing, right? It's the prevention of a bigger need for surgeries or medications or whatever it is that people are, you know, turning towards for pain relief in general nowadays. And that's the cool thing about massage too. Like it's a natural way to get pain relief. And also it feels good. Like that's also like just a benefit. Like it hurts so good sometimes when you get a deeper massage or something, but like you're alleviating pain while also like getting benefits, tons of benefits for better sleep, reduced stress, all these things.
Yeah.
But as well as like, it feels good. Like it's not just killing you the whole time, you know, like
100%.
Yeah. So
no, I appreciate a good massage.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I always look at. I'm like, I want a massage, but I'm just a cheapo. But whenever we go on vacations in Mexico, I'm like, I have to get my massage. I'm going to splurge. I'm going to get it.
Right.
And that's the best feeling ever. Like that feeling of like when you're done and you're just like frozen a little bit.
Yeah. It's hard to get off the table. You're like,
where I don't want it to be over. Where it's like I need to
like if only you could just bottle it up and sell that feeling.
I know.
You would be booked for years.
Right.
Like,
Right. And the cool thing is like you can get to the point where you don't quote unquote need it anymore. Like I think so. We do trades on each other. We do trades with our employees, and it's really cool because like. A few years ago, when I guess we first started, I always had like a spot in my back. Always, like, it was the same spot, and Brynn was always like working on me. She's like, "Go to the chiropractor and try to fix this," and I'm like, it hurts. But like now that it's been a few years and I've gotten more frequent massages, like I'm to the point where it doesn't bother me at all.
You don't even think about it.
Like it's not there anymore, and so it's like. It does take a little bit of time, right?
Yeah.
But once you get there, and then it's like, wow, like I feel great. And really now I just need massages when I have small aches and pains versus like it's always there, you know? You can get to this point where you don't rely on it anymore, you know? Like now you're just getting it because it's enjoyable.
For sure.
So that actually reminds me of somebody that I worked on. It wasn't her shoulder, but she had come in and she's like, I've gone to chiropractors, I've gone to the physical therapy. They can't tell me what's up and I don't want to have surgery in the future. And so I was like, okay, so what is going on? She's like, my hips get so tight that my legs are going numb. And I was like, tell me more about that. And let's see if massage helps you. And I'm like, are you serious about trying it? Because this isn't going to be like one session, go home, it's all better, magic fingers, you know? It's going to be like a few sessions. So I'd really suggest on purchasing a little bundle that we sell do all of these once a week, and then let's see what happens. Well, she ended up it was like a daily thing that she'd have to sit down for an hour for her legs to get their feeling back to. It was once a month, and maybe it lasted 10 minutes of her sitting down before it would get better.
Interesting.
So just the drastic difference. And it was just within like a month and a half of working with her that she got that relief. But it was also like the consistency of her coming in, which is pretty important if people are looking for long-lasting pain relief.
Right.
Yeah. I guess I had never thought about like going for specifically pain relief, even like a chiropractor and stuff too. It's like, I'll have those like, you wake up and your neck's all messed up.
Right.
And then you suffer for a week from it.
Right.
Yeah, like that there's kind of solutions and things that you can do.
Well,
why suffer?
Why suffer? And I was going to say, going off of that, our clinic, actually, we really focus on pain relief. Like we do, obviously, if people want relaxation, we'll do that. But almost everyone in our clinic, like they specialize and specifically prefer to do pain relief and therapeutic styled massages.
Okay.
So I guess that's something that also makes us stand apart from other places, is like we really focus on the pain relief and setting goals and treatment plans with people. Because also Brynn's story reminded me of one of my clients who also came in for migraines. So headache and migraine relief. And same thing. She'd been coming in for, like every few weeks for a couple months. And after probably 3 months, then now she comes in literally just for relaxation. Like I'll still hit like the points in her neck that she needs, but it's so brief. And she's like, no, I feel great. Like, let's just do a full body today. But it took a few months, but yeah, it's really rewarding. It's awesome.
Interesting. And for migraines.
Do you find that you have more clients coming in on like a long-term plan, or do you get the more just individual for enjoyment?
I'd say it depends on the time of the week. The people who are coming in are more likely to be return clients tend to be more on the weekdays. The people who are more like relaxation are more like Fridays and Saturdays, because they're off of work and they can like last minute, hey, I want to come in, or I want to do a quick little couples thing, and 2 people go in at the same time, because we do have a couples room, so 2 people can be massaged at the same time. But yeah, I'd say that's more of what at least I've noticed.
Yeah. I also noticed, and going off of that, even people coming from out of town, you know, if they're visiting Idaho Falls, going up to Yellowstone or whatever, weekends as well is when they come in and
interesting. So you get tourists and stuff coming through.
Yeah. We've actually had, it's kind of interesting. We've had some people from Driggs that have become not like super regulars, but they'll like drive down from Driggs. Or I think we even had one lady from Jackson, which is crazy because there's a lot of people.
The commitment.
Yeah. And there's a lot of, obviously massage places up there. We're a lot cheaper down here than up there, so maybe that's a part of it. But it's cool to get people from different areas that are like, we're willing to come travel.
That means a lot.
Come to you guys, you know?
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool.
So what is your price for like a basic hour massage?
Yeah.
Is that how you do it? Hour?
And pricing yourself.
Yeah. So our basic hour currently is $75 for the hour. We're looking at raising our price though. So like, and that's actually, I think, you guys had a question about pricing, which we can talk about.
That's kind of where I was going with it.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
This is a fun question for us.
It is.
Because when we first started, everyone was charging $60 for a 60-minute.
Yeah.
This was like 2 years ago.
Per minute.
And we were like, okay, we want to be a place where we're charging a little bit more because it gives us more value. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We're giving, I guess, more value, not just to our clinic, but like as a whole, the whole area.
Yeah.
Like it's hard because we have a lot of schools, so they're really cheap. And we have a lot of people who are willing to charge really cheap. But really, like, there's other places that charge way, way more for massage in their basic towns, where I feel like in Idaho Falls right now, it's like kind of on the cheaper end. Yeah. And so we were like, we want to help the massage industry in this area. So we're going to charge a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because then it gives that level of, okay, we're a little bit higher than everyone else, which is a little bit scary.
Yes.
But on the flip side, it's going to help everyone else so that they can actually be like, oh, they're charging that much. That means we can, you know, we're going to be the ones that are willing to raise it a little more so that we can help the rest of the area go up as well.
It's a big problem around here with a lot of
and that you can work without getting burnt out, knowing you're not just being taken advantage of and wasting your time.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
recently all of the other places have now matched our prices.
Great. I bet they're so excited.
Which leads into why we are going to be raising our prices again.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, everyone's at that level now. We're at the same level, but now we're ready to bump up a little bit more.
I love it.
For that same reason, because we want to keep that process going. We want to make sure that we're helping other massage therapists in the area to feel like, you know, because they're worth it. Like, it's so valuable, and it's such an important thing, again, for the health and wellness. If you're looking for pain relief and stuff, like, totally worth it.
And it actually reminds me of, if you look at individual person practices, they charge a lot for their massages, like $100. And
for sure.
When we started our clinic, me and Nicole, we were talking, and we're like, why is a clinic cheaper than an individual person? Like, it shouldn't be that because we are a clinic, our value is less.
Right.
So that is another reason why we were raising the prices as well, because we're not, like, our therapists are worth just as much as them working by themselves and on their own.
100%.
So. And I guess going off of that, that's another reason why we want to have a higher price. We want to be able to pay our people well.
That's like
and you have supplies you can't avoid, like the oils, and I'm sure there's a lot more.
Right.
Definitely. Oils is definitely a big part of massage. You can't massage without it. But also the expenses of, like, massage tables, they're actually pretty pricey depending on how nice you want them.
They add up.
And then eventually they do break. So you don't have to replace them very often, but definitely keeping that in mind of, I do have to replenish supplies that might or is going to be almost a one-time purchase. But
Cool. Well, it sounds like you're on the right end of the pricing strategy.
I really like that. That's an important issue right now. We were actually kind of talking about that earlier. I was like, I think I want to raise our prices.
No, it makes sense.
It just makes sense because there's been a lot of posts on, like, the Facebook market groups and stuff. And they were talking about, like, the photographers specifically. And they're like, no one can make any money because if everyone's charging dirt cheap, then, like, how are we making any money? So it's the same thing where it's like, we've got to get us to this market level to, like, take us seriously in this profession. And like,
Right. And if everyone, and it's funny because I do some photography on the side as well. And so I think I saw that same post, but it was like the same thing. I was like, if everyone could just put their level somewhat close, then, I mean, everyone's styles are different, of course, similar to us. Everyone's style is different. But then there's that common base level so that people aren't undermining or undervaluing what we all do.
At least you're paying this much no matter what you're getting.
Right, exactly. So.
No, I like that a lot.
Agree.
Yeah. That's could elaborate a lot on that one.
For sure. So I guess kind of with social media, how do you guys use social media as a tool for your business?
Yeah. Do you want me to, or do you want
to? Well, I'm not a big social media social media one. I have helped Nicole with a few posts, and I do have ideas, but I'm less likely the one to go and actually carry it out and film it. But one of the things is having content probably every day is super important. Just something to put out there. It puts your name. When people are, like, scrolling, because you have the endless scroll on, like, Instagram. Let's just use that as an example. Eventually you'll pop up. But if you don't post often, it's really going to be missed by a lot of people. So staying on social media and Instagram, you want to be there probably every day. And depending on your target market will depend on when you want to post, or you could post at the beginning of the day and just say, I did it. We do have a blog. We have, at least for me, I've struggled a little bit keeping up on that. So creating a schedule for yourself of this is when this is going to get done, of, like, posting it, and then having that time ahead to actually make it.
Yes, in an ideal world.
Because I do know when I went on maternity leave and I came back, Nicole had made a brief post of me leaving, but when I was like, oh, well, I'm going to be coming back from maternity leave, like, it just reminds me the Back in Black song.
So we did that.
And it had me walking through the door, flipping my hair.
I love
it.
Like,
right as I came on maternity leave. And
Back in Black.
And it was just like, she's back. And then in the description, it was like, she's back from maternity leave, book with her now, you know? So
I love it.
Just having fun content like that, it really gets people's attention. And then also having some informational ones. We have done, like, brief massages that you can do on yourself, or stretches.
Massages.
So that's stuff that you can do at home that does help. So
for sure, for the target audience, because it's always hard with social media of, like, getting that target audience, but then who's actually going to come in and then, like, get a massage?
For sure. And also going off of that same thing, like, because I'm the social media one for the most part, it's like, it's super easy to sell chocolate, But to sell a massage, like it's so different
takes more
on social.
like
on
time.
social media too. Like,
yeah.
You know, how can we convince people again? And I mean, we use the word
convincing
convince,
people.
you know, it's like we shouldn't have to convince,
Yeah.
right? Like we want them to know that this is good for them and that, you know, their health matters and their wellness matters and this is going to be amazing. But we have to really put ourselves out there to pretty much show them that this is what they want and this is what they should do.
Because when I think of like myself, that's like my biggest hurdle would be just the time issue.
Yeah,
like thinking like, oh, I don't have time to do this for myself once a week or something like that. And the money maybe too. But like I think time is the biggest thing that to do it regularly. It seems just like such a hurdle. Like, do you guys, I mean, you're sure you have ways to get them on plans and stuff.
Right.
But like, I guess, what do you do to people like that come to you with that problem? Do you have you just convince them like, say it's worth your time, just try it?
Yeah.
Like, I mean.
And I love that. I think like prioritizing yourself is super important. And I honestly rebooking people like then.
Immediately.
Like, and it's not just on our end. It's like, oh, we need to rebook everyone. But it's more like for them, like you'll make the time if you set an appointment right then, right? Like, cause it's already on your calendar. And so then you're like, oh, it's on my calendar. I have this appointment versus like there are people who, you know, get out of their massage and they're like, I'll just schedule online or I'll just do it myself. And that's fine. And that's great. But then they don't prioritize themselves, like you said, because you don't. You know, we only have so much time in a day, and it's hard to prioritize yourself and take care of yourself unless you schedule it out. You know, so I don't know if you have anything to add.
No, I don't.
Okay,
just make the time and
make the time, schedule it in, and just do it.
I like that.
Yeah.
So how do you balance your work-life balance? I heard you have children. Someone has children.
Both of us actually do now.
Have children.
She's got a little toddler now.
Okay.
So he's, what, like 18 months? How old is he?
Yeah. He's fun.
That's
and
fun.
then mine is like 2 months. So
2 months?
yeah, she's a baby.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, and you just had a baby.
Yeah, mine's about 15,
okay.
16 months.
Yeah, so close to his age.
Around there.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a fun time. So yeah, how do you balance your work-life balance?
It's very interesting for me because when it comes to me, mindset is everything. And I take my mindset based on my environment. Okay. So if I'm at home, I'm most likely not doing work things. Okay. So scheduling that in, like with my babysitters of like, oh, I'm going to go to the clinic an hour before my massages start. And I can start just hammering out the stuff on my ownership management stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, I can get so much more done in that hour than I can in like 4 hours when I'm at my house because my mind is not on it. So scheduling it in of knowing there's a place that I can be where I'll work most efficiently. Yeah. And then I could just get those things done.
No, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I agree. I think just making sure to schedule the time to do it because like, we were talking about this too, but going through different waves, right? We go through waves where we're like really productive and we're like, yeah, let's go. And we're just hammering it all out. And then there's times where like, we're kind of going to this slump and then we like get nothing done for a while. And then it's like, oh my gosh, we need to like get on it, right? Right. So to avoid those slumps, really just making sure to set time aside, scheduling the time and doing it as well. So.
Always easier said than done.
Yeah.
Yes,
agree. I agree. I think I need to be better about that scheduling, the set time. Right. It can always be hard though. Yeah. It's like when you have a child, I'm like, I want to stay with you.
Well, and like in our situation and yours too, it's all on schedule. So you try your best to have a set schedule, but then someone throws in an appointment midday and like your whole day's off now.
Right.
And that makes it hard to like keep a consistent schedule. And,
Yeah.
But
or things happen, like life happens, like things just pop up and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to do all these things today. And exactly. So trying to prioritize. And I think not being hard on yourself, like giving yourself grace when you do, or let me reset that, when you don't like get things done, it's like, hey, I have tomorrow. I'll try to get at least one thing done. And, you know, sometimes you have to get a lot done, but maybe it's like, hey, I only have 15 minutes. As long as I can do 15 minutes, right? Like starting small, working bigger if you need to. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
That's true. It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
I have to tell myself, I had to hold myself back from taking a nap yesterday. And I'm like, no. You need to edit this whole time. And I was so proud of myself for not taking the nap and actually using that small time. Right. Because my child was napping. So I was like, this is my chance. Either work or sleep.
Right.
Okay. So I have a question about a move. We did a couples massage once. This is totally not a question. I just have to ask if it's a move.
No, it's okay.
We can cut it out if it sounds weird, but I have to ask.
I know.
So we did this couples massage in Hawaii, and
it was like we can set the scene.
Yeah, it was in this random like high-story building. Super high-rise. So it looked like kind of like condos.
Yeah.
Like, and you walk up to this door that looks like someone's just apartment, and they open it, and it's like they turned it into their little massage area, and they all were. Didn't speak English very well. So first off, there was just bad communication from the get-go, which I didn't care. I was like, whatever. I was like, we're here. I was getting a massage.
Right. Yeah.
But it meant like I couldn't say anything and they couldn't really communicate with us before. And so I just knew we were doing like a basic massage. I don't know.
You know, you check your boxes of what you want on the
20 minutes in, I'm like on my stomach and I was like fully undressed because they were like, get fully undressed. And all of a sudden she like picks like there's a towel over me, but she picks up one of my legs like a scorpion, like so my leg's about to come like back this way.
Oh my gosh.
And I like had to come off the table because of the way she lifted me. And I felt exposed and I was like, this isn't, and she
I just assaulted?
So she put my leg down and like, I look over at Sarah to see what's happening to her and it's not that. It's just like a regular massage. And then as I'm like looking, she like grabs my other leg and I'm like, oh no. And she picks that one up and it all happens again. Yeah. And I'm just like feeling so like, what just happened? Right. And there was still another 30 minutes of massage after this. So I'm just like waiting for the next like weird thing to happen.
Yeah.
But so is that massage technique, the scorpion lift?
I would say it's a stretch.
But we're
stretching like the quads and stuff.
And I never checked any of those boxes of like, I need anything like that.
Right.
So
I was taken advantage of.
Yeah.
So in our clinic, we use sheets and we make sure that you are really draped and everything is tucked to where nothing like that would happen.
I was.
Your little towels.
But the whole thing, doing a scorpion thing with your leg.
But that doesn't even sound comfortable.
It wasn't. It wasn't even a massage. It was like it just felt weird.
Yeah. But putting the leg in that position, it stretches this part of your leg and you get the hip flexors as well. So I would see kind of the purpose, but not fully what that was.
Yeah.
And also Hawaii does have their own school and they have their own exam. Like if I was to want to, or if we were wanting to go to Hawaii, no.
Kind of. Hawaii is like the only one.
The only one that has their own.
Yeah. Because in the rest of the states, you have to get like a certain amount of hours. So like in Idaho, Utah, like 600. And a few others, like 100. In New York, it's 1,000 hours. Yeah. And it's pretty easy to get hours once you graduate. Like all you have to do, like we've been working for how many years, right? So all those hours add up and you can just apply to get more hours based on that. Like you don't have to go back to school.
That's nice.
You know what I mean?
You can credit that.
But Hawaii, like Brynn was saying, is its own beast. Like in order to even go like work there. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe they were just a part of their curriculum.
Maybe they were just, doing
I just feel like I was taken advantage of. I feel like they could have given me 2 towels if that was happening.
Right. I guess there was not good communication. Like you said, you couldn't really communicate with them.
Yeah. All I know is I felt the lift and a breeze and I was like,
something's wrong.
This is not.
Like, I don't think this is what I signed up for.
This is not what I signed up for.
So anytime
and it was not cheap either. So I felt, I left feeling like, broken. What am I paying for?
A broken man.
Right. Yeah. We make sure that like if we are going to do stretches or something, like one, you do have that sheet like Brynn said, but you're covered. Like, and if we're worried like about exposing you, we'll usually even have the client hold like the sheet. Like, hey, I'm going to hold this. I'm going to tighten it for you. I want you to hold it. Okay, now we're going to move your legs while you hold it so that you don't feel like you're going to be exposed.
Caught off guard.
Yeah. And also like it gives you the control to be like, okay, I'm holding it. I can hold it as tight as I need to as they move my leg around or whatever, right?
Of course, that was the first time I've actually ever like been fully undressed under there.
Of course.
Any other massage, I've never fully done that.
Right.
And I think it was before you were like, no, it's fine, do it. And it's just
whatever,
like,
just do it.
All right, this is weird, but and it was weird. It was weird. I shouldn't have done it.
Right. Yeah.
It ruined it for you.
No more couples massages.
You won't get that experience at our place, so you know.
We'll have to go to theirs and get a massage.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, so we were I guess if we just want to talk about the expansion, pretty much we opened in 2021 as we talked about, and then we expanded so that we could add more services. And so we do massage primarily, that's still like mostly what we do, but we now have sensory deprivation float pods If you guys have ever heard of them.
I want to try that.
Yeah. They're super awesome. They're super cool. So you should
definitely
try. That's like
pitch black in the water. And
Interesting. You have earplugs in. So it's like sensory deprivation. So you like have no sight, no sound. I mean, you can hear things in the pod, but like darkness, and you just float. Like
you're just buoyant on top of the heavily salted water, and it's skin temperature. Yeah, so you hardly notice. It's not too hot. It's also not cold.
Yeah, it's not like a hot tub. Like it's not like hot because like Brynn said, it's skin temperature again for that sensory deprivation.
Like the 98 degrees.
Yeah. You don't want to be able to like feel the water. Like you can feel the water, but if it's the same temperature as your body, it's like people say it's the closest thing to floating in outer space that you can kind of experience.
What's the benefit?
Oh my gosh, there are so many benefits.
I'd say just ground based. You're floating in about 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt. Now, the thing is, it's super absorbed in the water, so it's not grainy at all until you get out and it starts drying, which by the time it would start, you showered. But, sorry, what was the question again?
The benefits.
The benefits. There we go. So Epsom salt is already good for muscle pain and joint pain. So physically, you're getting that benefit. And then also it provides a space, the pod of the sensory deprivation is you're not getting sensory input, which gives your mind time to process. And a lot of, I'd say life is super busy. So most people don't take time to process. And that's when anxiety, stress tend to creep up on us and it just hangs around. So I've noticed with me that after I've floated, my mind is just more clear because my brain has had time to just churn through things, which some people might have a concern of, I don't want to be left alone to my own thoughts.
About when you're in there, you're just thinking about all your stuff.
I mean, but some people like
give them like, like things to think about, like prompts, or like you're just like,
no,
just like go in there.
You're kind of left to your own thoughts, but also like some people also will fall asleep in there. Like, it's crazy. And that's actually one of the huge benefits is sleep. So like the Epsom salt has, magnesium in it.
Okay.
And so you absorb some of that salt and you get that magnesium. And so that helps you sleep. So like they're known for like helping people with insomnia. If you do enough floats, like if you do it consistently about 8 to 10 times, that's when you really start seeing like, wow, I'm sleeping so good. And I don't know how you did your first float, but I know with my first float, we went to Boise actually, because there weren't any in town at that point. And we had tried it. And we had tried it right before bed. It was like 8 p.m. when we went and floated. And we were staying at like this old hotel that wasn't that good. The pillows weren't that comfortable. But we all, so it was my husband and I and my parents. We all slept like babies. Seriously. And I know my mom in particular had been struggling with a lot of anxiety. They were building their house at the time and a lot of things were going wrong during their build. And she was like, it was the first time that she slept through the night in pretty much a year, you know?
And it was the magnesium properties, you think?
Yeah. And I think just processing
are deficient in magnesium.
I've been hearing a lot of talk about how magnesium is so great and people should be taking magnesium pills.
Yes. And it naturally helps you sleep better.
Interesting.
So that's part of it. As well as another unique thing is PTSD and trauma. So those two are the big unique benefits, I guess. So because what we already talked about, it helps you kind of clear your mind. The first few times is harder to do. I think my first time I didn't fall asleep in the pod, but my second time, which we went the next day, because again, Boise, and we're we have to try it twice. They actually suggest trying it 2 to 3 times before you make a solid opinion and decision on what you think about it. But yeah, my second time I fell asleep in the pod and I slept the whole time.
Is there a thing around your neck so you float or
so you float without trying because there's so much salt in there. It's denser than the Dead Sea. So a lot of people go to the Dead Sea and just jump in and they float. Or I don't know if you've ever floated on the Salt Lake. You go and you just okay. Well, you can go and you literally as soon as you lay back, you just float without trying. You don't even have to try.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so these pods are the same.
It's a little weird because you're when you're sitting, all of your weight is in a narrow point, but as soon as you start laying back, it kind of just takes your legs and you're just
when you're in the pod. So it's a long.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty big.
I was gonna say it's
the tallest person we have had float is about 6'10".
Oh.
They were the max. But
and with him too, he pretty much was I'm barely not touching this for the end. So we probably couldn't go any taller than that.
It's a big person, 6'10" though.
Yeah. But it's a lot more spacious than you think. That's one of the big concerns people have. They're claustrophobia. And it's actually, it's a dome. So when you're sitting in there, you don't even touch the top. You've got room. And then when you're floating, you physically have to reach out to the sides to to fill the sides. So it's a little more spacious than people think. But
yeah.
How long do they stay in there?
An hour.
An hour?
Yeah.
It's a long time.
It's an hour float. Yeah. I mean, if you like can't last that long, you can always get out sooner.
Yeah, because you have full control. It's a manual lid.
Yeah, so you can lift it and you pull it down.
So you close it on yourself and you can open it. Or
like
if you're like,
bed.
I don't want,
right.
Or if you're like, I don't feel comfortable with it closed and I feel claustrophobic just thinking about that, you could even leave it open. We suggest closing it because there's the chance that you'll get some light from like the hallway or something.
Yeah.
But
and also, I mean, the rooms, we purposely leave the rooms warm, but it still might leave you a little cold because you're in water, right? So and it's not hot tub water. It's like body temperature.
Like a bathtub when you're sitting there for a while.
Yeah, but there's a lot more benefits that we could talk about, but those are like the big ones is like sleep.
Interesting.
Obviously, muscle aches and pains. A lot of athletes, they suggest athletes to use them because of the muscle recovery and things, or people who are big gym goers, things like that.
So this is a big investment. We were talking about expanding, so I'm like, that's got to be
machine.
So we opened so we expanded in this May. That's when we expanded, added 2 pods. So so we got 2 separate rooms. So I mean, couples can come in; they're just in separate rooms. And then we also added infrared saunas. So we've got a few infrared saunas. Cool. And then like a month ago, we just added a cold plunge into one of the sauna rooms. So you can do a contrast therapy.
Go back and forth there.
Yeah. And so we've got a lot of like pretty good feedback for that too. So
wow.
What are the pricing on those other things that you offer for like basic hour, for like a float?
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, floating is $65. The infrared sauna is what, $50?
I think it,
$45.
I think it's $50.
And then contrast therapy is $35, and just the plunge is $20. If you
what is the plunge? Is it like a big ice bath?
It's like an ice bath. Yeah. But it's like it's a fancy one.
It doesn't have ice in it. It has a little, what's it called? Machine motor.
Yeah.
Oh, that like spins the water.
Cool.
Oh,
and
the worst.
It has a little brain, you know?
So cold.
And it keeps it cold about like 45 to 50 degrees.
Which doesn't sound cold, but it's cold.
No, I believe it. I remember taking ice baths in college, and whenever they turned the fan on to make it rotate, it was like, no, turn it off, turn it off. Like, I just got used to it. It's way worse.
Yep.
But more effective.
Yeah. And those are also, it's been fun because like we said, our clinic is pain relief and like all these things, we just felt like they all fit really well together with the pain relief and like muscle recovery, performance. It just, and all the benefits are so similar. Like that's another crazy thing. Like the cold plunge, the sauna, and the sensory pod and massage, they all help with sleep, right? And they all help with muscle recovery, and they all help with,
You need to go out to all these like high schools with all the kids that play sports and get those parents educated. That way they'll bring their kids in.
Right. And then just convert them forever.
Exactly.
I've had
endless
one
customers.
Person. I've had one minor. He was like a big soccer star in high school. He was 17, and his mom was like, "I want you to massage him so he can do his soccer." Like,
that's nice.
Okay,
lucky
so
kid.
Great.
Like made sure I'm like just working on the 17-year-old's legs, really.
So you can play good soccer.
Yeah. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm still impressed by just the amount of machinery and everything that you have.
Is it a big square footage? It's got to be big, right? Your place?
I'm trying to think.
I can't think of it.
So don't sound like small machines.
Yeah,
No.
they're pretty
The sensory
big.
deprivation pod, if you think of just the ground space it takes, it's about the size of a queen size bed.
Yeah, but it's like oval. So, a little smaller, but about a queen size bed.
And a big investment.
Yeah. And then they have to have showers in the rooms too.
Yeah.
So we've got showers as well.
Dang. So did you have to do this? You had to redo this to your space to put a shower.
So that's actually a fun part of our expansion. I guess I'll say that.
So we didn't expand our building because we were renting half of the building, and then the people who were renting the other half were like, we're comfortable with our space. We don't want to give that up. But then we were talking to the person who manages the buildings, and he's like, oh, the people next door, their lease is ending soon if you want to take over.
Yeah.
And they had the full building. So we literally just hopped next door.
Like literally that one building over.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So people who have been to us before, like we sent out like, oh, we changed buildings, but we didn't really worry about like, this is where we're at. And like, we didn't make it a huge deal because if they couldn't see our sign, like all they had to do is turn their head.
Oh, they're right there now.
Yeah. So most people, it's like, oh, I didn't realize you changed buildings until I walked up and there was no sign there, But most people, they would just find us and they didn't have to call us like if they were returns. But it's been pretty funny.
So did you have to make a lot of changes on the space when you moved in then?
Yeah,
to add
actually,
showers and
I wish we would have taken it before. Like, I didn't think about it till we had already renovated for like a weekend. And it's crazy how fast, like, that was another fun part. We got it all done in a month. So it was crazy. Like
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it was like, okay, we're going. Like once we're in, we're in. And that's partly because we were renting both buildings at the time. We're like, okay, we can't. Now. Yeah, we're like, okay, we need to do this as fast as we can. And so we got in, and the space was just really awkward. Like it was being used by like a law office, so they didn't really need like the separate rooms really. Like they had like, again, because it was 2 buildings.
Sorry, I'm laughing just thinking about how they set it up.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like you walk in one door. So like it's built so you could split it in half and have 2 buildings, right? Mm-hmm. So you walk in one door and it's like a waiting room. And then you walk through and it's like another waiting room. Like it's almost like huge, awkward so 2-space
door through door.
Except it wasn't a door. It just was open. But it was weird. It was
weird. Like, there's a little waiting room. There's a waiting room right here where the other door led into. That had this tiny connecting. And then there was like this half wall built. And then
another
it was like
space.
Another waiting room, and then they had their rooms.
So it felt like 3 waiting rooms, like right just at the front, and then different building or different rooms. But they were just so awkward. And then they had one huge conference room, and anyway, so we had to do a lot. We had to make a lot more rooms, like individual rooms, and then the pod rooms. Like the conference room, we actually turned into the pod rooms.
Yeah, we just split it in half.
Yeah.
Did you do a lot of that renovation yourself?
We had,
no, thank goodness.
We actually had some family friends. They own their own businesses for renovation. So we had them come in and help because they helped my parents build their home. And so we just had those connections. So we had people come in and help, but
What's their business name in case anyone needs some help?
Okay. So
Leon
Remodeling. Let me pull up his.
Or it's Leon Construction.
Yeah. We'll pull him up.
Call Leon.
That's his last name.
But I bet that was nice. And you could still put all your opinions in and like have like a say and everything, just not have to do the heavy lift.
Okay, it's Leon Remodeling.
Cool.
And he's awesome. Pedro is his name. So shout out to him. He's amazing. And then the other guy, I think he's just does it kind of for fun on the site. So he doesn't have it as a business, but yeah.
Cool. Well, 1 month. That's fast. That's
And they did amazing. Like it was fast and furious, and they did like such a good job. Like it was crazy to see again from like the beginning to the end, just the change.
Yeah.
Did you stay in your old place until the new place was fully ready, and then?
We pretty much once it was like, I mean, kind of, yeah.
As soon as all the walls were up and the painting was done, like that was
flooring,
done. Then I wasn't there, but Nicole and our parents spent like 3 days moving everything over.
That was another fun thing. So with the home,
does
listening to them on the phone.
Fit through a door?
No.
What are you?
My gosh, and they're heavy.
They do if they're sideways.
Oh my god!
But to get them around the corner, because it was in the end of the hallway, there was no wiggle room. So they built the walls to the new rooms, but they had to cut it out to get the pods in. Then they finished one room, scooted it across the hallway and through both doorways. Because if we were to take those pods out and move, we'd have to take out through the wall, cut through the wall to do that. But
they're
big. They moved
them
over, finished that room. Then they had their own separate rooms. But
well, at least no one can steal them.
No,
they're heavy too. Like we had to buy special suction cups. Like they're this big. You like
to pick it up.
Yeah, you like put them on, and then you have to pump it
which takes out the pressure.
Yeah, which takes all the pressure, so you can lift. And we had to have 4 people lift on these huge suction cups. Like they're heavy.
Wow.
So. Yeah, there was that. And I was going to say, so Brynn was actually out of town, but when we moved in, that was a crazy thing I forgot to add too. But when you're doing when you do a home inspection, they want pretty much all the furniture out, right? They want you to, they're like, oh, we'll do your home inspection so they can pass it off and stuff with nothing in there. Well, with a business, it's the opposite. They want everything in place. So we were like, well, crap, we don't want to close down our business. Yes.
I see.
So we literally one weekend on Saturday, we still did our normal business hours, closed at 3. And then we moved everything over, everything. Wow. So it took all Saturday from 3 till at least midnight. And then we had to go back Sunday and do like the whole day because they were coming Monday morning to do the inspection. And we had to have everything like in place so that they could like pass us off. Wow. So it was a long weekend and Brynn was on vacation.
Perfect time.
Visiting. You planned that.
Oh, I couldn't remember. Yeah, something. It was something with family.
Planned it just perfectly. Didn't have to do anything.
Yep.
It was a lot of work. It was
I
crazy.
ended up helping for probably an hour to around like 10 o'clock at night when I did get home.
That's late.
Just to try and organize and make it to where there was space for our employees to walk in because it had to be set up just enough where employees can work. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of a mess when he inspected, but we passed.
We passed, yeah. And so it worked out really well. But yeah, we literally couldn't stay in the other building because we had to move everything over to the new building. So it was like, all right, we're closing on Saturday and by Monday we're in the new building. So it was crazy.
Big moves.
And you have to dump all that Epsom salt back in the tank?
Yeah, how does that work?
So
whose job is that?
With
the pods were set up later.
Yes.
So the pods were physically there, but there was no water in them. And because we were trying to get the building settled before we started offering pods and trying to figure out what it would look like with clients and maintenance. And so we ended up getting someone who professionally cleaned them, fixed them up to where they looked really brand new because we ended up getting ours used from Canada.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So we got them cheaper than what they're normally like really expensive.
I'm sure.
And so we got them at a bargain from Canada, only 2 years old, and the company that sells them is like, oh, we will still insure them for you even though they're used. Mm-hmm. So they're completely covered, and we're like, sweet.
Awesome.
Anyway. And the people who took them down in Canada didn't know quite how to do it. So like there was a few chips from, because they were like practically new, and then when they took them down, they like just little chips and stuff, but we did have to get them a little bit fixed.
Yeah.
So.
And I remember I was there when the salt was delivered. It was this big, I don't even know how, I think it was 1 ton.
Yeah, it was a lot. Because you have to dump like salt. It's 1,000 pounds per pod.
Does that come on like a pallet? Like
yes, literally a pallet
of salt.
And of like individual big bags. You just
and then you take them, and then the salt to dissolve the first time takes several days because like you dump all the salt,
and you have to refill it.
No, so
that's nice.
The pods are they're really clean. It's crazy how clean they are. So one, the salt content alone will kill all bacteria. Like there's so much salt in there, like you don't want any cuts or anything. Yeah, like exactly. But on the extra hygiene, extra precaution, it has a huge crazy filtration system that cleans it cleans like 4 rounds between each client, as well as we add like hydrogen peroxide to the pods like end of day. So it's like they're really, really clean. So unless there's some kind of huge emergency, like hair dye is a no-no. Like you have to wait like 2 weeks after you get your hair dyed before you can get in the pod, just because your hair, it might leak into the pod and ruin the pod. Yeah. So like in situations like that, we'd have to drain the pod and redo it and re-add the salt and stuff. But for the most part, they're really clean and filtered and
So you just always have 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt on your hands just in case.
Yeah, we do have a closet that has a ton of salt.
Yes, and then we do check the levels. So every like few days we have like a little a tool. I can't remember.
It's like
what
a
it's
salt
called.
tester.
You like throw it in, and then it will tell you what levels it is, and then
tells you on the phone.
Yeah,
and we need like a certain level of like between. Oh, I don't even remember.
I don't even know. It's like, it's really specific. I can't remember,
but like between 2 points, they're like, this is where your salt needs to be. And if it's too much, you add more water. If it's too little, you add a little bit more salt.
Yeah.
Nice.
So. Cool.
That's really cool.
I want to come try that thing. That sounds fun.
You guys will have to come try them. They're super cool.
Let's go book after this for sure.
So,
And do people book on your website?
Yeah, so we're actually, it's
you?
funny. Calling is better if you're a first time client.
Yes.
Just for first timers, because we do have like our policies and things. We need to get your information, things like that. So like it's easier to just call in, because if you do go online right now, we're changing our system. Actually, we're always changing. We're always improving because we're so new still. So we're like, we're updating things all the time.
I get it.
But so right now, what we have with our system is it's an appointment request. So it's not online booking.
The request.
Gotcha.
And that's because with how we've lined it up for our massage therapists, we want them to not have gaps in their schedule. So we have to be able to kind of like control where people book, kind of.
I see.
They choose a spot and then we put them, like we slide them maybe 15 minutes later to help so that we can fill our massage therapist like perfectly.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so, so we do appointment requests. And so for the first timers, like they still have to call you to get your info anyway. Mm-hmm. So highly recommend just calling the first time if you're a first time client, and then they can get that info. And then if you ever do a request in the future, like because we already have you in the system, they'll pretty much just text you like, hey, that looks good. We'll get you booked, you know?
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's the easiest way.
That's cool.
Sounds easy.
So for someone going to start their own business,
yes.
what is your key advice that you might have for them?
I would say figure out your boundaries. If you are to have employees or even with yourself, with clients, figure out what you're willing to do and what you're not okay with. That's pretty big. Like, biggest thing for clients is like a cancellation policy. Nobody likes those, but having a reason why you have it, like, so because like for us, we have one, it's 50% if you cancel within 2 hours. That's because the therapist is most likely not going to get another booking.
Yeah.
And they're paid on commission, not hourly. So then they don't get paid, even though they were sitting here waiting. Mm-hmm. So that's why we have one. Yeah. And most clients, even with that information, they're like, I don't want to pay. I'm going to sue you for that. There has been a few people who are saying it's not worth suing
for $50,
like $30,
or like
literally
$17 or whatever. Yeah, it's only 50%. It's not the full. You know,
it's like you missed your appointment.
If you don't show, it's the full. But you know,
but having the boundary of like, this is my policy and I'm going to follow it, or is it like, am I going to let a client off the hook? If so, what are the grounds it's on? Or are they just going to be like, oh, no, they let me off the hook every time? Because then that boundary is lost.
And at that point, it's not even worth having the policy if you're just going to not allow it or that's the wrong word. But, you know, not
enforce it.
Yes, not enforce it. Exactly.
100%.
Yeah. So that's, and also going off of that, Brynn said also like with your, or not your clients, with your employees, just because we're new, we're young, we don't know everything and we're still learning. Like, I think in the beginning, we're really like, friends with everyone, you know. It's kind of like, oh, like we're your bosses, but we're friends, yay. Yeah. And I think like it didn't serve us, you know, it didn't serve us well as business owners, because then when we did have to bring up hard topics or things, like it was harder because we were friends, right? Mm-hmm. So making sure to have those boundaries. And then I think something that I was thinking of as advice is to use your free resources. We just barely found like some business resources. They have some in town that are like literally free. It's like free business consulting and all these things. Like there's so much like free resources out there. You can even use YouTube and this and that. You know what I mean? Like there's so much free stuff out there. Like use it like to your advantage. Like you don't have to go crazy and you know what I mean? And like, I think also talking to people that are also in your field, like that you admire and getting advice from other business owners or, you know, things like that. So I think that's my advice. Oh, and I think the last thing we did talk about too is not being afraid to just do it. Like that's really the biggest thing too. Like it's always intimidating and it's always kind of scary, like starting out and you always have doubts. It's like, oh, what if this and what if that? But in reality, like you just have to take the first step and you just have to go for it. Like, you know,
discover the reason why you're too scared to do it. And usually it's just an excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. It's just an excuse normally that we're all just putting into our heads and making it up.
Right.
Well, thank you
Scarier
so
to not
much.
do it.
Yeah, it is. It's really scary to miss out and then wonder forever.
Yeah.
If you didn't do it or not.
Agreed.
Yeah. But thank you for coming on our podcast today and
thank
chatting
you.
with us about your business. Super cool business.
Thank you.
We're going to have to go and do some float flips.
Oh, yeah. We're going to float for sure. Yeah.
And maybe he'll get a massage again in his life.
Yeah, I know. You redeem your experience.
I trust you guys. I trust you.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you so much. So you guys are in Ammon.
Yes.
Give them a call or find them on, what's your website? Do you have a website?
Yeah, just modernmindbodymassage.com.
Perfect. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.